The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube and on my site, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you are encouraged to post your comments whether you agree with me or not. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we are syndicated to an additional 12 million households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten. Welcome to the show. This morning, I posted the breaking news about Mr. Putin, the president of Russia, now threatening Poland because, Poland has received assurances from the United States that defensive missiles will be delivered to them. You know, Poland is part of NATO. And they asked for these defensive missiles, and the United States said yes. And so Russia now says, both Putin and one of his generals says, oh, if you do that, we're gonna nuke you. Oh, and I thought that Russia was just provoked in Georgia because the Georgian troops took on ethnic Russians in their own territory, in disputed territory within Georgia. So that was provocation for Russia to invade Georgia and just kind of spank them by dividing the country in two and creating a humanitarian crisis so great that the United States came in with humanitarian aid, and then Russia said, United States, don't do that. Do not bring humanitarian aid to the people who we have displaced, or you will ruin your relationship with us. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Cold War is back upon us. And for those of us who are old enough to remember, it is scary times indeed. And let me just tell you something. Not everybody agrees with me. Because if you go to my site, GaryBaumgarten.com, you will see people who agree with my position and people who say, whoa, wait a minute. Russia was provoked in Georgia, and heck, what did we do here in the United States when Cuba started to allow missiles from Soviet Russia to be placed in Cuba? Yeah, we had the Cuban Missile Crisis, and the United States stood up to Russia, and the bear backed down. And heck, Russia's just doing the same thing the United States did back then. Well, these are defensive missiles, not offensive missiles. But regardless, not everybody agrees with me, and that's pretty obvious. But the beauty of this show is we're here to inform you. We're here to tell you the truth. And you can tell me that I was wrong and your truth is truer than mine. And nobody's going to slap you for it. So let's see whether our first caller agrees with me or not, that Russia is now returning to its evil ways. By the way, Bill from Atlanta, one of the people commenting on the blog today said, the Russian bear has been hibernating, but it's awake now and has a voracious appetite. What say you, Bill from Atlanta? Welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
Thank you, Gary. I agree with you completely. Actually, they pulled this saber out of the packet back when Bush was in Europe for some conference or another and talking to Poland about this. They said that they would have to include us in the list of targeted places, or include them in the list of targeted places if in the event of war. And that's what they've done here. But yes, most certainly, sabers are rattling all over Europe, and they think they've got us by the cojones. And I think they're in for a big surprise. I've tried to send you the link for John Bolton's editorial today, former UN ambassador for this country. He thinks that the big thing is it's all geared up for the upcoming presidential election, because there's one candidate that would be a definite benefit for Russia and one that would genuinely oppose them. They've already stated that. Anyhow, you are right. The lion or the bear is out of the woods and it's biting people. And poor old Georgia paid the expense. They did bring it on by doing something that this country told them not to do. But nevertheless, they didn't deserve an attack like this and abuse like they received. That's my point there.
Well, Bill, don't go away. I want to ask you something. You mentioned that one candidate is better suited than the other to handle the situation. I presume you are going to suggest that John McCain is rising to the occasion while Barack Obama is been having fun in the sun in Hawaii.
No, Barack Obama commented on this subject, and he came out with a very weak response, very, very weak response, where John McCain came on strong and he demonstrated a great knowledge of the area of Georgia and what was going there. His long history. He's been there many times, and he doesn't believe in being too kind to these bears. He thinks these bears need to be slapped around a little bit. Simple as that. But Bragg did come out.
Okay, now let me bring to your attention a comment that was posted to GaryBaumgarten.com today, which suggests that in reality what happened here was orchestrated by the Republicans. That the Republicans told the Georgians, go ahead into those territories and slap the Russian nationals around. If Russia responds, we will come to your aid. And then predictably, Russia responded the way that it did. There was a crisis created that allows for John McCain to appear to be the stronger of the two candidates, the guy who would handle the so-called call at 3 in the morning better than Barack Obama. And that the person wrote, well, you know, the Democrats have the better candidates. The Democrats have the better platform. But, gee, those Republicans sure know how to run an election.
Well, you know, that was to be expected, I would guess, that kind of thing. You got to judge on it by the source. I don't know the source of that story. And